Hey, Valanche here from Media World. Since watching Asylum of the Dogs, I've been in a really Doctor Who mood. I want to talk about Doctor Who again. I want to rewatch old episodes, get back into those storylines, tell those twists and turns. And I figured, hey, I haven't reviewed any of the season box sets. So I figured I would start with Matt Smith's The 11th Doctor's first season, Season 5 of Doctor Who. As always, I'm talking about the storyline, the characters, the soundtrack, and being this is a TV series, I'm going to talk about my best episodes, the worst episodes, and my overall opinion of this series. So let's talk about Doctor Who Season 5.
All of time and space, everything that ever happened or ever will. Where do you want to start?
So the main continuous storyline for Season 5 is that the silence will fall, the Pandora's box will open, and that runs for all 13 episodes. Of course, each episode having their own individual storylines. There's always winks and turns, about this kind of hidden plot that's going to bigger storyline that's going to happen and leading up to the end of the series. We have these kind of cracks in the wall that's kind of suggested in the very first episode and leads all the way up to the very last episode. Now, what I thought of this series storyline, the main kind of storyline, I thought was actually generally quite clever and smart. It's something that was a little different from other seasons. It had a very similar kind of corny style to it. The very first episodes kind of like introduced that kind of idea of the crack on the wall. First episode focused upon that with the Doctor, Raggedy Doctor, kind of coming in, using his kind of screwdriver and all that. And it appears in each episode since then. Now, I was getting a little bit annoyed up until, I think, the two-part Angels episode. And it was starting to appear up in basically the end of each episode. And it was getting on my nerves because it's kind of like previous episodes saying like, tortured, bad wolf and all that stuff. It's constantly repeating because, yes, we've had this before. Don't need to keep, doing it every single episode. And my thought when I was watching it for the first time, they was going to keep showing these cracks until the very end of the series, which is going to drive me nuts. It's like, yes, we get it. There's going to be a big surprise. And I like the fact that in the two-part Angels episode, the Weeping Angels episode, they actually acknowledged that and they actually figured, what the heck is this? And we realised that it is a kind of the universe has kind of exploded and the walls of reality are collapsing, the time and space, everything is going, time is literally running out, and that is the kind of the main part, and the Doctor has to figure out why. And later episodes we find out that it's the TARDIS is the core process of it. He puts his hand in and he puts a piece of the TARDIS. It's affected other species also. Get that in the vampire episode and kind of wiped out their planet. And of course the end of season finale with the Alliance, all these kind of Cybermen, Daleks and Tauroids all coming together, kind of stop the Doctor because they know the Doctor, TARDIS is the heart of the explosion. They know if they think they can stop the Doctor, they can save the universe. And I like the idea that they kind of join forces in the technology and to stop the Doctor from destroying the universe. Interesting idea. The Doctor has become the baddie.
Anywhere you want, anytime you want. One condition, it has to be amazing. Now it starts.
So I felt this season's storyline actually was pretty strong and it was genuinely interesting and intriguing. It had its annoying parts, but one of my faults with this kind of series, with the storyline, is that there's no proper edge build-up. There's no kind of satisfying kind of ending in a sense. The last episode, The Big Bang, I was expecting a lot more, to be honest. I was expecting something a bit more different, and I got a feeling that the BBC was kind of restricting Steven Moffat in this sense, and I felt it could have been a bit more, It didn't like how Royce opened the Pandora's box, just like that kind of thing. I think if the Alliance is going to put this much effort into a trap and they're going to seal him in, I don't think it's going to be opened by a sonic screwdriver that easily. I thought the cat and mouse Scooby-Doo chase around the museum, the Dalek, I thought it was okay, but I just thought, really, come on. I liked the actual main ending with the Doctor's kind of sacrificed himself and erased his from existence and going through past episodes. There's parts I like about it, and I like the wedding sequence. I like the kind of the foreshadowing for the next series with the silence is still out there kind of thing, and they're kind of going on with their adventures. But I just felt it could have been a bit more, and you build up something so high and then it comes knocked down. And it's like, okay. But I still found it was pretty good. I just thought it could have been a bit more, that's all.
You might want to find something to hang on to. It begins!
Now, Season 5 is an extra special series, being that it's Steven Moffat's first kind of solo writing. couple of episodes for Russell T Davies within the past season, for season 1 to 4. Of course, the Blink episode and the Empty Child, and etc. etc. Now, obviously, Russell T Davies has gone out. He's basically said, I've had enough of Doctor Who now, I want to do my own thing, do something else, and Steven Moffat has stepped in. And for his first season, I thought he did a pretty decent job. You know, he knows what to do with certain villains. You know, I felt that The Weeping Angels was one of his stronger episodes. I felt there was a lot of weak episodes within the series, which I'm going to name later on. But yeah, not for a first series, it did not too bad. If that's being nice, to be honest, you know, I still felt the BBC restricted his ideas and restricted what he wanted to do with the budget and all that stuff for the very first series. There is some good episodes in here which I do enjoy, but I just felt it could have been a bit more. Yeah, that's my key word for this review: more. Talking about the characters for this season, we have a brand new cast. Matt Smith plays the 11th Doctor, just regenerated from, of course, David Tennant within the specials. Now, Matt Smith had a lot of responsibility and a lot of stuff on his shoulders, to be honest, because he had to sell it as the Doctor. He had to play a different kind of version of the character, but at the same time having some recognisable kind of you know, quirks and charms that we come to love from the Doctor. And you know, Matt Smith, he didn't do really much. He's done a couple of, you know, kind of independent movies, did a kind of stage plays, and for him to kind of come out of nowhere and take upon the Doctor, it's a huge responsibility. And I felt that Matt Smith did an absolutely fantastic job. He absolutely nailed it as the Doctor. He brought his own kind of charms, his own kind of characteristics, and even with season 7, the current series, he's doing a fantastic job. What I like about it, because he's just as good as David Tennant is.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
He's a fantastic actor. You know, he's a very fun Doctor. You know, he has his own kind of quirks. He has his own kind of play with the sonic screwdriver. I like his own kind of costume. I like the whole kind of professor type look. Sense that kind of bow tie. I like the whole kind of gag of that, and the fez, and I like to see him how he got mad, because each Doctor has a different kind of side. You know, their kind of quirky side, their kind of funny side, and I like to see how they face kind of villains. You know, the kind of when he faces the Daleks and all that stuff, and he faces the Cybermen and all those villains. You know, how does he get angry? How does this Doctor get angry? I thought he actually was fantastic. It was an absolute joy to watch for the entire series, and he still is. You know, there's still more character development to learn about him. New also companion is Amy Pond, played by Karen Gigolo. She hasn't done much. Also, a bit of an unknown actress. She did a sketch show with the Kevin Bishop Show. That was actually pretty funny. She was good in that, and this was kind of a main chance of drama, at a sci-fi drama anyway. And I think she did a really good job. You know, she was very different from other companions. She, you know, I think she nailed it. Also, she played that proper Scottish kind of, you know, outspoken, loud, you know, woman, and she reminded me a little bit of Catherine Tate's character a little bit. You know.
My name is Amy Pond. When I was 7, I had an imaginary friend. Last night was the night before my wedding, and my imaginary friend came back.
Relationship in the very first episode, when the Doctor's kind of finding himself, he's just getting over the regeneration and just finding out, you know, what he likes, what he doesn't like, and he meets kind of Amelia at a young age, and of course she's all grown up when he meets him again, and I like that kind of waiting, you know, the girl that waited so many years kind of thing. I like that kind of pre-relationship. It's quite clever. Now, a lot of people complained about the series because Amy Pond's character, or Karen Gigolo, she wear a lot of mini skirts, and I'm thinking to myself, Doctor Who has done a lot more than miniskirts. Amy Pond's character in this is, I thought she was funny, I thought she was feisty, she definitely outspoken. I liked how the fact that she kind of cummed onto the Doctor in later episodes, something that other companions have not really done that much. We kind of had a love interest, kind of, you know, with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor and David Tennant's Doctor with Billie Piper, but we've never seen that kind of actual coming on to the Doctor. I thought that's actually quite funny. We also have Rory in the series also, that he kind of comes later on in the series. He's kind of established as a character in the very first couple of episodes, becomes more of a companion later on. The fact that kind of Amy Pond and his character again married, and yeah, I felt he was okay. I felt he was a bit of a weak character, to be honest. In this series, I didn't like him particularly much. I liked him more towards the end of the series, the fact that he went through so much with the last Centurion and all that. But I felt, you know, he came in, he got killed off by the crack in the mirror, wiped from existence. Okay, we know he's going to come back. You know, why introduce this character? He's going to kill him off just like that. Doctor Who rarely kills off characters just as bluntly as that kind of thing. So we all knew he was going to to come back at the end of the series. He's going to be the hero, and I liked him more towards the end of the series because he was a bit more stand his ground. He wasn't as kind of a nervous, kind of nerdy type guy. He stood his ground. He knew what he wanted, and he loved Amy, and he kind of, stood up to the Doctor in certain scenes and stuff. I like that, which is something different from other companions. Mickey Rourke did that also within the past season. Main character of this season is River Song, a character that introduced within season 4 of David Tennant's Doctor, and she's kind of suggested that she is the Doctor's wife in the future kind of thing. I like the idea that it's kind of going backwards. Within the 2 pilot episodes with the Silence in the Library, she got killed off, she sacrificed herself, and she kind of knew the Doctor a lot. She'd been for a lot of generations. She's been for a lot with this Doctor, and I like the fact that they're going backwards order. Doctor always knows how she dies. I like the fact that in this series you find out more about her, who she is and a bit more, and what she's capable of, and what friends she knows, because of the kind of spoilers. I like the fact that the diary. I like the fact that she's in prison. It adds a lot more mystery. We know this character is going to be in this Doctor Who universe for a very long time. She's been in sort of season 6 or so. She's going to be in season 7, so we're going to find out even more stuff, even more events that's going to be affect the Doctor's life. So it should be interesting how her character plays, and even in the future. But in this series, I felt she was well done. I like the fact that they kind of expanded her character even more. They gave even more plot points. They connected it with the diary. I like the fact she's involved with the season finale also. I like the hints about what's going to happen, and fantastic character, very funny, very interesting, kind of that Captain Jack feel. I would love to see Captain Jack and River Song kind of meet at some point, because they're very similar characters in the sense, the fact that he's immortal and she keeps popping up there and there. So interesting enough. So I thought the characters were solid in this series, some very likable characters, and a lot of guest characters also. Now also a brand new title sequence with this kind of a stormy kind of theme tune also. Maury Gold is a fantastic soundtrack also in this series, as always. The brand new title sequence I liked a lot. It's very different from the old one. I like the new title design also, the inside artwork, because the original was more of a war TARDIS in a sense. This one's a bit more of a colourful. There's all sorts of cool little things going on. It's a treat for the eyes in a sense. I like this TARDIS design more than the last one. That's personal preference at the end of the day. Okay, so let's talk about the best and worst episodes of the series. Now, of course, I have the season 5 box set. I have the episodes list there, so I'm going to name a couple of ones which I think are very, very good, and go from there. Okay, so we've got the first episode, the 11th hour, the very first episode of Matt Smith, the kind of first regeneration episode. Now, usually, I don't like those episodes. They're kind of slow, and they take its time, kind of drag its feet. The villain is usually quite weak. I felt that within the Christmas Invasion, David Tennant's first episode. I felt that was one of the weakest episodes that he did.
Yeah, fair enough.
Purely the fact that it was a regeneration episode. But after watching it a couple of times, on TV and the box sets, I've actually grown to really like it. I thought it was very funny. I like the relationship with him and Amelia Pond, and I like the kind of one-ball alien. It's very, very cleverly done. First episode, I thought he did a really fantastic job as a season opener. He did everything spot on. New intro, new Doctor, new companion, new TARDIS, a fantastic soundtrack, and I love the season opening trailer at the end. Fantastic stuff. Great episode to start off. The second episode was The Beast Below. I felt it was an okay episode. I felt it was quite weak in a lot of areas. The last kind of 20 minutes, I felt redeemed itself with the Doctor's reaction towards this kind of torture with this creature. I like the idea this kind of the Earth is exploding. It's kind of links into the kind of the end of the world within season 1 of Doctor Who. Links into that, separate countries going off in different directions, finding a new planet. But I felt it was an okay episode. It wasn't special. There's one or two laughs in it, but that's about it. Third episode, Victory of the Daleks. Probably one of the worst Dalek stories I've ever seen within the new series and the old. Absolutely awful, and it was just bad. One, it was rushed. You can't have a huge, fantastic Dalek storyline like within season 4, within the Davros storyline, and you go to season 5, and they have one of the most weakest Dalek storylines ever. One ship survived, of course, whatever, and they bring these kind of new generation Daleks and these kind of Powerpuff Rangers version of them, and it's like, oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, there is a couple of lines in which I thought was quite funny.
Would you care for some tea?
That would be very nice, thank you.
And I felt some of the gags were okay, but as an actual episode, it was awful, 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 awful. It was just badly scripted. It was badly executed. I hate the Spitfires in space. That was just terrible. I hated the Daleks created this kind of robot version, and it was on a at the end of the episode. Close to the end of the episode, it was on a self-destruct sequence. That basically the thing was going around and clocking down, and what do? Do they disarm it? Do they basically, manage to throw it off in space or dump it on another planet like the Doctor would or smartly would? No, they disarm it by love. Oh.
Fuck you!
Way. Sorry, but episode was insulting. It was childish. There's a couple of worthwhile gags in it with the Daleks in it, but that's about it. The ending I thought was stupid, and again, terrible episode. Just a terrible episode. And redeeming itself with the two best episodes of the series, The Time of the Angels and Flesh and Stone. Probably the two best episodes, my personal favourite episodes of the series. I felt the Weeping Angels were expanded on. I felt they were more scary in this episode. I like the fact of the blinking stuff. I like the fact there's soldiers in this episode. I like the fact there are river songs in this episode. I like how the pacing of these two episodes. I like the fact that it actually explained the crack in the wall. The fact there's a kind of the times exploded. I like the character development, the kind of back and forth between the Doctor and Amy this turn and Amy and the River Song. I felt the characters are spot on. I felt the scare tactics were great, and I thought the scripting was well done. It was a great two-part episode, and I think Steven Moffat really pulled the hat out of the bag for those two. Thank you. Next episode is the Vampires of Venice. I felt it was a good episode. I felt the ending though. I felt was very, very weak. Not a very good, satisfying ending. But I like the vampire storylines. I like the settings. I like the kind of the culture. I like this is Rory's first episode, also venturing into time and space. I felt that was quite funny. I like the relationship between him and Amy. One of the things I didn't like about that episode was the fact that the Doctor didn't offer the actual this species an actual planet to go and stay on, because apparently they lost their planet through the actual silence, through the actual the crack in the wall kind of thing. The planet got consumed and destroyed, and they basically want to restart on Earth in a sense. In the past seasons, the Doctor has usually offered the villains a place to stay. You can go, I'll take you to another planet, you can stay in there, you can live your life kind of thing. And he doesn't offer them. He doesn't give them any bargain deal or anything to get lost in a sense. And I felt that was a bit unlike the Doctor to do that, and it kind of gave them no choice in a sense. And I don't like the fact that they kind of switched off the machine right from the top of the tower with a click of a button in a sense. Don't like that. It was just a bit too easy for me. But I like some of the scare tactics of it. I like the gags. I like the kind of the Houdini thing, like they finds out they're vampires and the library card with the Doctor on it. I felt that was quite funny. So a good episode overall, but just a bit weak in certain areas. Amy's Choice, probably one of my top favourites also the series. Basically it was just set in two locations, the TARDIS and a little village, and it was like kind of the Dream Warrior in a sense, and it was basically messing with the Doctor and the companions, and like Amy's Choice, basically who does he choose, the Doctor or did he choose Roy? And it kind of it was a really good episode. The scripting was fantastic. It really proves that they don't need a proper villain really, they just need an idea and they can act beautiful themselves. I like the back and forth, the dream sequence. I like the settings. I like the relationship also. It kind of spans on the Doctor's kind of personal kind of psychosis in a sense. The fact that this kind of dream warrior knows everything about him, and he kind of put things into perspective in a sense. In the fact that he doesn't have friends really. He just have people that he acquires and he dumps them off. And I like that kind of deep look into the Doctor yet again, and it's interesting. I like how Amy kind of chooses Rory. She realizes what she's been doing, and I like the idea of that. It's quite cleverly done. Next two episodes is The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood. 2 week part episodes. I like the villain. It's kind of a hat off to the old series, but I felt it was not particularly good executed. I felt the first episode of The Hungry Earth I thought was interesting. It was very suspenseful, but it wasn't very satisfying. The second episode I felt was just really kind of thing. I wasn't impressed. I felt it could have been a bit more for those 2 episodes. But I did like the season finale ending of Cold Blood, the fact that Roy gets killed off by the crack in the wall, and I like the fact that he kind of realizes that the TARDIS is going to explode up in the future, and Amy and Doctor forgot about him. It's kind of interesting, within future episodes how it's going to play off, but I felt as a 2-part episode it was weak.
Tell me the whole plan. One day that'll work.
Vincent and the Doctor. An episode which is probably my worst episode of the series. I do not like this episode at all. It's not funny, it's not smart. The villain is just stupid, an invisible creature, really? Come on. It's the best you got. You see this budget episode coming in there. Yeah, not a good episode, didn't enjoy it, didn't find it funny. I don't watch it. I've watched it once on TV, and I have not even watched it on the box set because I just don't like that episode. It's just not good. Worst episode of the series for me. Considering even the Victory of the Daleks has something more than that episode, I think. So yeah. Next episode is The Lodger. That's a very fun episode. I thought it was good for Matt Smith, a bit of character development for him, mainly because of him having a kind of living a human life, getting a flat and playing football and doing these jokes and all that stuff at the same time. There's something upstairs, there's someone upstairs. I like the idea of that, and I like his relationship with him and Craig. I thought that was quite funny. I like the relationship between those 2 characters and all the gags, and I like the episode as a whole. It's generally quite funny as a whole episode. So and it's well done. It's well done. Is the Pandora's Opens and the Big Bang. Like I said previously in this review, I felt that Pandora's Box was a good episode. I like the Alliance storyline, I like the ending to that. I liked how Roy came back. I thought it was very, very obvious and he was going to come back. I liked River's song in that episode. I like the villains. I like the Cybermen. I felt though it's great to see him back on the screen again. We haven't had a good Cyberman story in a while, and it's nice to see him even just a cameo. Pretty good. I like the idea of all these villains coming together and kind of stopping the Doctor. The Doctor is the baddie in a sense. And I love the ending for the episode also, with the scene in the box and all the universe just exploding and there's just pure silence. I like that kind of cliffhanger. It's very well done. But I thought the Big Bang was quite, disappointing in the sense. I felt it could have been a bit more. I liked certain things about it, but I felt it was just a bit meh. The bar has been set so high, and you didn't deliver above that kind of episode. It should have been a bit more, just like previous seasons did. But I like the ending for that episode also, with the wedding, of course, and the kind of the teasers into the next series, and I like how it ended with the wedding and stuff. So not too bad overall.
One simple instruction. Don't follow me under any circumstances.
Will you follow him?
Of course.
So I'm going to give Doctor Who Season 5 a hit or a miss. I thought the season was a bit too restricted. I felt it had a lot of weak episodes. I thought the season finale was a bit of a letdown, but it did have some really good episodes. I like the characters, I like the soundtrack, I like the new kind of intro, but I felt it was a bit of a hit and miss series in a sense. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, but that is just my opinion at the end of the day. Now, of course, I have the season 5 box set. It's a very different design from the past season box sets. It has an out-of-step case. It has this kind of weird kind of layer design. You can see there. Yeah, I don't like this kind of design. Before, it was kind of like a fold-out kind of artwork in a sense for past season box sets, but they seem to have got a bit of a cheap now for some reason. I don't understand why. But on the other hand, it does have some good artwork. There's the Doctor there. It has an inside episode guide, which is actually pretty cool to read. But I felt it could have been a bit more. There's so much artwork they could have used, and it's a bit disappointing overall for the actual design of this box set. But the disc artwork is pretty decent, and so not too bad. There you go. That's on that, and there's the back. Pandora's box, and there's a little quote, which is pretty cool. And there's the front artwork there. It's the laminated one. Spine and the back. It has some pretty decent extras also. It has, of course, the additional scenes that work in between certain episodes. They're actually pretty funny. They're actually pretty good. They add more drama, add a bit more humorous to the actual episodes in between storylines. Pretty good. It has video diaries. It has monster files. It has the Doctor Who Confidential series. It has commentaries, it has outtakes, it has all the trailers and teasers. One thing I don't like about this box set, though, which actually really annoyed me, is the fact they don't have the next time trailers on this series. Now, usually within each episode, even the box set, you always get the next time, a little mini kind of trailer for the next episode. They seem to have cut them all out within this series, and I don't understand why. I felt they were pretty good, and I like those teaser trailers for next time. It just keeps you a bit more excited, like the way they've cut and paste. But they don't have them in the series. God knows why. That's been my review on Doctor Who Season 5. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Hope the video wasn't too long for you, being that the fact that it is so long, a 25-minute review. I apologise for that, but my videos are generally quite long. So yeah, what did you think of the series? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was on the best series? Did you think it was the weakest series? What did you think of the episode? What did you think of the cast? Let me know. Comment down below. Love to know what you think. Have a bit of discussion. So in the meantime, thank you for Movie TV. Signing out.
Because this is what I do. Every time, every day, every second. This. Hold tight. Because it will change your life. There's one thing you never put in a trap if you're smart, if you value your continued existence, if you have any plans about seeing tomorrow, there's one thing you never, ever put in a trap. Me.